no better way to prepare for open field tackling than trying to open field tackle a greased up little pig.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
Could you
that.
imagine that if you ESPN 3 and just look at just NFL athletes mud wrestling.
Wait.
Okay.
Welcome back to the HOFer Sports Podcast.
Episode 38.
I'm Noah.
I'm Austin. Welcome back.
Thank y'all for tuning in. It's been a rough week. I know as soon as one podcast ends, then the smile fades. You start crying until the next podcast comes out.
Please.
Please.
There's people lining up outside the building. They're just waiting. Our neighbors are asking why there's so many women here.
And then it happens where I forget what day of the week it is. I'm like, is it Wednesday or is it Thursday? And then they're crying, waiting for the podcast to
Exactly,
drop.
yeah. I woke up and I was like, oh, it's a good Tuesday morning. It's Friday. So let's get right into it. You want to start out hard? You want to start out like with a hard hitting question, or you start light? What do you want? What do you want, man? What do you want? What are you feeling today?
I don't. Whatever.
Let's start out light. Let's talk about. We talked about in the last podcast. John Madden officially in the cover of Madden 23, the best possible option, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. I love the cover art they did for him. I was cheesing. It's like the old school one. He hasn't been on one since 2000, I think, which is wild.
Cal Poly alum gracing the cover of Madden.
There you go.
There he is.
Some people were mad that they didn't do his like Legend Edition and then have someone else really be on the cover.
I mean, it's like at the end of the day, it's his game.
Yeah.
It's literally named after him. You can't be mad that he's on the cover.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
You're not entitled to a cover athlete. Like it used to be him on the cover every year when it first started off.
Do you think they have more pressure now to make the game like better because it's like him on the cover? Like now we have to live up to his legacy.
Oh, that's probably that's what I was thinking. It's like maybe they'll actually change the game now.
And instead of copy and paste.
Do you think JJ Koski has more pressure to be the cover athlete next year?
Yeah,
follow in the footsteps of Cal Poly alum, so he can be the next one.
He's probably
back-to-back years.
He's probably sweating right now at night thinking about it. Like he needs to be the next Cal Poly alum.
It's him or Weird Al or Chuck Liddell.
So I wonder how many.
Ride High.
There's some big name colleges that haven't had one yet, but Cal Poly's been on the cover.
Yeah, I mean,
Fresno's never had one.
Yeah, I mean, John Madden went to Cal Poly when he was obviously when he was a college student, so like the 50s or whatever.
Yeah.
It was probably like 7-man or 8-man football, but he was in the trenches.
Yeah, do you think they had like one bar and leather helmet? Ryan Fitzpatrick, also known as FitzMagic, retires after 17 seasons, and after that I was thinking like, he's probably pretty close to have beaten every team in the NFL. Because I know there's not a lot of guys that get to do that, because they're like one-team guys. He's probably pretty close, because he was...
For sure played against all of them.
Yeah, but he was a Ram, a Bengal, a Bill, a Titan, a Texan, a Jet, a Buccaneer, a Dolphin, and then he finished with the Commanders last year.
Yeah, well, he was on 28% of NFL teams or something like that.
That's wild. And then people are calling him like one of the greatest like journeymans of all time. Like it's either him or Josh McCown.
Yeah, Josh McCown been around too. But, I mean... It's wild to be. Usually, if you're in the league for was it 17 years? Usually, it's because you're like a franchise guy on one team, but he's not built like the rest.
Exactly,
he's a different breed.
And he's been like when he pops up, like he's been able to win games. I remember being at the Raider game versus the Dolphins and that controversial face mask.
Yeah, where he still completed the pass.
Yeah, that picture's also insane of him just like halfway gone. I mean, yeah, that's why, like, it's wild that he's been able to play so long and play so, like, effectively, too. Like, not as good as some other guys, like Brady, who's played, like, really long, but he's, like, won Super Bowls, but he's still been able to play good football.
Well, I think most people think of him as sort of like a lot of people look at him as, like, a career backup, but he's also played well, and one of the one of the more lovable quarterbacks of
Oh,
all
for
time.
sure, yeah.
But isn't he finishing with it? How many yards is he finishing? Like top 40?
Yeah,
or
he's
right?
finishing 40th in yards and touchdowns, like top 40 in yards and touchdowns.
Yeah, that's not a small feat.
No, I saw people saying like, so is he a Hall of Famer? And vicious in the comments. Like as soon as you like talk about like oh, this guy's career's over, is he there? Vicious in the comments. People don't care.
When the man retired, you don't need don't bring up questions that you know the answer to.
Yeah, don't bring up questions that we don't need to ask.
Let's focus on like the positive of like, oh, he actually was like underappreciated, but then you start saying Hall of Fame. It's
yeah,
like,
exactly.
All right, well,
and then it's like
he's not gonna measure up for that one.
Like people are like, hey, he's like such a nice guy, all this stuff, and he's like, is he a Hall of Famer? People like, football fans instantly start attacking the man's character and everything. Like, you see the way he looks, his beard's dumb. I'm like, please relax. The man's been retired for like an hour. Can we just breathe and just celebrate it? But someone who's been on a lot of teams, and I think is a Hall of Famer, and that's also retired today, is Frank Gore. The number 3, he's gonna be the number 3 rusher of all time when he's done, and he signed a 1-day contract with the Niners, and after 16 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, prime Frank Gore on the Niners was pretty tough guy to stop. That was during sort of the back when the rivalry of the Bay, the Battle of the Bay, felt more like it was an actual Battle of the Bay because it was in the Bay.
Yeah,
but he was pretty close to unstoppable guy.
Was it just me, or did you think he played for like 30 seasons? Like when I heard 16, I was like, that's no shot. He's played for way longer.
Yeah, and
that's been the joke that he's like the dude that's been in the league forever.
Well, and it's hilarious if you look at his like photos of just like his like picture day photos on each team. The man looks like the same. Like it's not like if you pull up like the Tom Brady ones, he looks completely different each and every year. But Frank Gore's like that's just
Frank Gore, man.
that's just Frank. He looks like you could have photoshopped a different jersey on him or something.
Oh yeah, and that's like. Him and FitzMagic, very different careers. FitzMagic went to a different team like every 2 years, played for 17 seasons. Frank Gore was on the Niners for 10 years, so he was a pretty solid, like he got to do what most people dream of, like staying on one team for a majority of your career before thinking he still had it and started to venture off a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's also interesting to see because most of the guys that we see in the league that have been around for that long, like if you're still relevant after 15 years or whatever, you're almost always, that was a wild noise,
that's cool.
You're almost always a quarterback, it seems
like a quarterback or a kicker.
So positions, especially it's remarkable that Frank Gore has been in the league or was in the league for as long as he was because his style of football was very physical.
Yeah, exactly. And just like the position alone, like being a running back and playing for so long is wild. Like you see running backs retire at like 29, 30. This guy's playing well past that.
Well, you see guys now, think about who the best running backs in the league have been for the past 5 years. You've got Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Ezekiel Elliott, Saquon Barkley. Every single one of those guys, big injury problems.
Exactly.
Like not a single one of those guys has not had a season that they were like out of for the whole season.
Yeah, and it's even more wild because people are saying like with Derrick Henry just turned 29, and people are like, oh, his career is about to start going down. When Frank Gore played until he's like deep in his 30s, so it's just wild to see someone from that position being able to play for so long.
How old do you think is Adrian Peterson? He's probably around that same draft class.
He's got to be around there. I think AP, same draft class as your boy.
That makes a lot of sense. Was that 07, 08, 07, I think? Jamarcus.
I think drafted like 3 picks after.
That's on the list of when people say like, did you know the Raiders could have drafted this guy instead of Jamarcus? We're like, yeah, we know.
Every time you see that, does it get worse and worse?
I mean, the thing is, it's not.
At the time, it was a good pick.
He was the consensus first overall pick. He was the best quarterback. The Raiders needed a quarterback. You pick him. I don't know. Maybe I don't know how you would have known that he was going to be that much of a bust unless you more thoroughly spoke to him about his passion and commitment to football. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. It's not like there was a level of scouting that would have uncovered that he didn't want to watch film.
This is going to make us sound really young, and I know we've been yelled at before where it's like, you need to go back and watch Jerry Rice play. Remember we got flamed for that? I just wasn't born back then, right? But we're doing our fantasy draft right now for the rookies, and we get 24 hours a pick. And DCA was telling me that back in the day for the real NFL draft, there was no draft clock. So just you could do however long it took. And he was telling me a story about the Cowboys didn't think they had enough information on the guy, so they flew out to see him, worked him out, and then flew back and then made the pick.
I wish we had it like that in our fantasy draft because 24 hours is not enough for me. I've
been on the one that's taken 24 hours twice now.
Yeah, two times I've taken the full 24 hours to make my draft pick.
And the worst is that you know who the pick is hour 3, and you're like, I'm going to pick tomorrow morning.
I'll tell you, my 3rd round pick, I'll tell you right now, I already know who I'm going to draft. I'm going to pick them at the 24th hour.
Our draft started last Saturday, so tomorrow will be a full week since the draft started with 12 guys.
Mm-hmm. and I'm drafting them boys.
That's why I knew DC8 was right for being worried. He was doing the math. He's like, this could take a month. He's like, if each dude took 24 hours, this would be a month.
I mean, it's the off season. There's no. Well, what else are you gonna? There's no
it's just
reason.
The worst when the boys are like taunting you, like, I know I'm gonna take. I'm like, can you take him? Like, I'll do it in the morning. I'm like, all right, thanks, Matt. Like guys texting me that they're gonna sleep on their pick. I was like, okay, that's good.
No, you think I didn't know right away? I was like, all right, I'm taking Malik Willis, and then I said, you know what? Let's let this ride out for a bit.
We had one of our boys who slept through his final 24 hours and auto picked, and he said, I'm cheesing. I was gonna take him anyways.
That was me.
Okay, I was talking about. Or Sahil said that to me. That he was,
really?
Do you think he was actually cheesing, or do you think he said he had no clue who that guy was?
Mine actually.
Yours was your guy you were
because I was gonna take James Cook.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure I could be mistaken, but I think James Cook is also the name of somebody from like the 15 or 1600s that went to Hawaii and killed a bunch of natives.
It's not a fact check.
I don't that could it was for sure something Cook. I did a report on him in like 3rd grade, but
those mission projects went wild back there.
So that was giving me a little bit of red flags about
drafting
you're
worried
him, but
a little
other than that,
but like,
I was like, I don't think he's genocidal.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to know. Now let's get to the tough question, right?
Okay.
Another player is saying they want to retire. He said he wanted to retire a Steeler, and that person is Antonio Brown. And I just wanted to know, do you think he's a Hall of Famer, or do you think his actions lately have taken that away from him?
No, I don't think so. I don't think his actions have. I think you have to separate. I mean, maybe it will impact that, and maybe it'll. Let me see. I'm trying to think. So he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,000 yard seasons. That looks a lot like
a Hall of Famer.
A Hall of Fame resume.
Yeah.
I mean, only played for 12 years, but 7 of those were 1,000-yard seasons. I think that probably is a Hall of Fame career. And I think the stuff is probably going to keep him. I think all the off the field stuff will keep him from being a first ballot guy.
Yeah.
And maybe he shouldn't be a first ballot guy anyways. But I think he hasn't really done anything that should prohibit him from being in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but I think it's exactly right. I think he won't be a first ballot because of the stuff like attacking certain members like of the head guys like of certain teams, right? Like attacking owners and Goodell. That might push him back, but I think inevitably he'll make it because if you look at it, before all the crazy stuff went down, he still was going to be one of the best wide receivers of all time. He probably still is one of the best wide receivers of all time. Especially when the Raiders drafted him, I was like, oh, it's over. Like, we got one of the best players to ever play.
There still are a lot of, like, what ifs when you look at his career of, like, what if things didn't go so south so quickly in Pittsburgh if he would have, like, kept playing there? I mean, obviously, Big Ben's years there pretty numbered anyways. Yeah. But yeah, if he could have... The rate he was going where you're having like consistently 1,500-yard seasons is ridiculous. I think You think he gets his statistics show that he should be a Hall of Famer. I think it'll be really interesting when he does get in because it's just different when you have somebody like that gets put into the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Then they give their speech, that fan base or whatever teams they played for, their fan bases are all like cheering, like, yeah, we love you.
Exactly.
I think it's a pretty, like, Steelers fans are pretty divided.
Oh,
about,
exactly. Because during that, like, if he makes it in or when he makes it in, that celebration, half Steelers fans, I don't think any Raiders fans, probably no Patriots fans, and I don't know if Buccaneers fans.
Well, I mean, if you're a Steelers fan, then it's like, all right, you gave us a lot of production. You made it to the Pro Bowl however many times. We're at the top of the game. One of the best receivers, if not best receiver in the league for a lot of years in a row. Also, you didn't win us a Super Bowl, and then everything went to crap. You started fighting with our team, and then you left and you started bad-mouthing our team.
Exactly.
So it's sort of like...
Because it felt like, maybe it's happened longer than I can remember, but I feel like that switch in Pittsburgh was really fast. Like there were things were going really well, and all of a sudden they just weren't. You know what I'm saying? That switch felt really quick.
Yeah, but that Pittsburgh team, if you actually look at who is on that team, it's wild that they weren't more successful in the playoffs than they should have been. You look at like prime Big Ben, prime AB, prime Le'Veon Bell, great offensive line.
No, those are always
Ryan Shazier.
Yeah, those are
Minka
always
Fitzpatrick.
One of the great, like one of the best teams. Like it's one of those teams where it's like, this is one of the best teams. It's just like the Nets. It's like, how didn't they win? You know what I'm saying? It's like Nets with Kyrie, KD, and Harden. It's like, how didn't these guys win? How didn't the Steelers win?
Yeah, well,
like AB got
there's
his
that
ring
photo of the Steelers at the Pro Bowl one year, and there's like 9 guys.
Yeah, exactly. It's like their whole offensive line.
Yeah.
It's so wild because AB has one ring and it's with the Buccaneers. You know, so it's gonna be. I think you're right. I think he's gonna get in. I just don't think it's gonna be that first slot. I think his actions have hurt him that way. Where I don't know if he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer now because of that. Because I think, I think there's gonna be some repercussions to like insulting the commissioner and like the owners, like the Raiders owners and stuff like that.
And he's just divisive, which doesn't ever help with something like that. But I think also the people that decide that are professionals and probably set aside
and
their own biases.
And if I saw he was getting, like when he tweeted, like he has it pinned on his Twitter right now that I want to retire as Steeler.
Right.
I saw people start hating on him, attacking him, and he had to make another tweet. He said, to clarify, I want to retire, not play.
Okay, so you know how at the NFL Combine there's all these different measurements. There's the 40-yard dash, the vertical jump, long jump.
Yep.
I don't think it's called long jump. That'd be something else. But I don't know.
It's like
whatever it is. But I was curious. I've got a list of names, and I'm ready. I'm going to read you the names of a few different NFL players.
Okay.
And you try to guess how many reps of 225 they put up on bench during their NFL Combine.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
All right. First one we've got is Tyreek Hill.
9.
He put up 13.
Oh, a little strong boy. All right.
Yeah. Okay. DK Metcalf.
19.
27. Yeah, which is
the
like
man's jacked.
Which like position players that are like that's absolutely ridiculous.
No, that man's yoked.
That's probably up there with like the linemen and
We've
stuff.
seen the pictures of him and Hunter Renfrow. These two play in the same league.
Yeah, they played the same position.
Yes.
One of them made the Pro Bowl, one didn't. All right, and then we've got Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, poor. He might be a sleeper pick. I'll say like 11.
10.
Oh, that was close.
Which is, I think he's probably come a long way since college. Because the pictures of him now,
he's jacked. Yeah,
absolutely yoked.
I mean, like guys like that, they might need to start putting in the leg press for like Saquon and stuff like that. We might need to start seeing that.
If they have, I guess they probably don't want them like maxing out on squats or I don't know. Yeah, they should do.
Put that leg press machine in and let's see how big those boys can push, man.
Or if they have them do a 1 rep max of deadlift, just like you got dudes like passing out doing smelling salts and
skyrocket through the NFL Combine.
Definitely. All right, Aaron Donald.
31.
Pretty close. 35. All right, and then the last.
To be fair, I would put 0 up. By the way,
the last one I've got is Jay Cutler.
Oh, Jay, 5.
Because he's one of most quarterbacks.
Yeah, most quarterbacks
don't do it. So he's the most relevant quarterback I could find.
Okay, so this is gonna be really embarrassing then if he said screw it, I'm gonna do it, and he completely flopped. So did he flop? 5, I'll say.
He hit 23 reps.
Okay, so he knew what he was doing. Yeah. He knew what he was doing. He said, I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to crush it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because I think most quarterbacks that choose to do the bench press, like either it's because there's like questions about position, like you might get
Yeah.
moved to a different position, or you just got that dog.
You just got that dog in it. It's like that X-ray. You found that dog in it. That's wild that he decided to do it.
Yeah, and bench pressed almost twice as much as Tyreek Hill, over twice as much as Christian McCaffrey.
Did Derek do it? Derek didn't do it, huh?
Derek didn't do it.
And DCA
didn't do it.
So
The only Jay Cutler is the most successful quarterback I could find that did the bench press.
Do you think we should ambush?
Vinny Testaverde is the other one that he did it. I don't know how many reps he did. But.
Do you think we should ambush Derek and DCA when they're at the gym next time and we make them do it because they never did it before?
Okay, I'm pretty I might be tripping. I don't know if DC8 was there for it, but NFL Network definitely had a bench in studio and had people doing it.
Oh, if he did,
and I'm pretty sure he was.
He might have attempted. I remember I saw some guys.
I think he was there.
Dude, I'm telling you guys, you guys don't understand. When I see this, when I go to the gym with this man, when I see him go to the gym, he does shrugs and that's it. Then he goes home. Like that's all he does. He's in the gym for like 20 minutes and he's 42 now. The man is jacked and all he does is shrugs. Oh no.
I'm pulling up the
stats. Pull up the stats.
Why is he out doing shrugs? Oh, it's so that he can help carry more groceries in.
Exactly.
He doesn't have to take more than one trip. He just holds them all at his side.
He claims he has one good full speed sprint left in him, and then that'd be done, like for his career.
DC8 was spotting. He wasn't benching.
How'd the spot look? Was it clean though, or was he looking?
Let me see if they used him. What does this come to? We're just watching, critiquing his his spotting form. All right, it's pretty good. He gave him a little belly rub after he grabbed it off.
Okay, but he wasn't the type to like be doing most of the workout for you, like those types of squatters.
No, he just waited till he failed.
That thing would kill me. If as soon as it got off the bar, that thing's coming down dead.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Is like, what if I read you off a name and you guessed? You were like, oh, probably not very many, like 3. And I was like, actually, no, he got no reps and they didn't spot him and he just died. They just let it fall on him. Except legit, if I was like a quarterback and I decided, you know what, give me let me do the bench press. Let me hit it. And then I only get like 1 or 2 reps. Yeah. I'm saying I don't want a spotter. Let me die, because I don't want like.
You tell them. You specifically tell them.
Because imagine if you fail your first rep.
Oh yeah.
Like you could.
What I would do is, I'd say put the bench in a room with a glass window or glass walls. I'm gonna lock the door. If I fail, I fail. No one else is. No one else is coming in. It's just gonna be me. If I can't get this thing off me, I'm dead.
That's good.
What's the one event you think you would be the best at the combine? You think you're 40?
Probably bench press. I'm really slow.
Yeah.
I'm not a quick sprinter.
Do you jump high? Is your vert good?
No, I'm really bad at jumping.
So you would kill the bench press and then you're done. You're doing the complete opposite. You're only doing bench and you're leaving.
No, I would only do bench. I'd put a mediocre sub mediocre 40 time. And then horrible vertical jump.
That's good. Maybe they should.
Oh, and if I had to run the shuttle that the receivers run, I'm getting domed in the head.
Oh yeah. When you have to turn and catch the ball, it's GG.
In that moment, how stressful that is, I'm not gonna remember what direction.
Oh no, it's like Vietnam. I'm just confused. And what?
You're just running in a daze.
Yeah. What event could they throw in there that'd be kind of fun? They should throw in like Rocky, like they'd make you catch a chicken.
Oh yeah.
They just throw it and they go.
That's really good. If at the NFL Combine they say like, all right, we're gonna time you, see how long it takes you to catch this chicken in this cage.
Oh, they don't tell you the event you go in and like, and what's next? Chicken catch.
Or yeah, if you show up to the combine, they're like, all right, your 40 time was pretty good. You had a good bench. There's one last test we want to see from you. So we've got a greased up we've got a greased up potbelly pig. We want to see you chase it down.
Or they go,
how long does it take you to grab him? That could be a good drill for like DBs and stuff.
Exactly. They bring you in a dark room and they're like, sit right here, and then the lights go on, gate opens, you're on a bull. Just hold on. Like, what's that noise, man?
There's no better way to prepare for open field tackling than trying to open field tackle a greased up little pig.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
Could you
that.
Imagine that if you ESPN 3 and just look at just NFL athletes mud wrestling.
Or if they had in dodgeball, that if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a dodgeball. If you can catch a chicken, you can catch a running back.
Real life hot potato. Warm that bad boy up and start tossing that thing.
Oh, that's
who's got the most resolve?
Have you played with? I've got who was it? I had a friend that had an electric potato.
Don't it warmed up?
So no, it shocks you.
Oh,
like it's covered. It's
sick.
covered in like it shocks you.
That's
and
sick.
You don't know how long it's gonna take, so you play hot potato and then it shocks you. I think they should have him play that.
That's cool. What if you just turned on ESPN3 again and just Russian roulette?
Well, they need to do the the event in the Olympics where they ski and then shoot.
Oh yeah,
no
have you seen their arm bend in that?
No,
you need to look at the pose
shots.
some of these guys hit because their elbows like sticking out this way. Like it's human evolution. What if you did it and it was just like you're like, let's see what the combine's going on. And it's just them playing Uno. It's like, great intelligence here.
Spicy Uno.
Yeah, it's great +4 placement. That's how you know he's gonna be really intelligent in the NFL. Now it's time to talk about the Warriors. All right.
The Warriors schmorriors.
That's good. Warriors.
Oh.
So the Warriors.
Weird because Celtics is the only team with an L in it, but it looks like it's the Warriors.
That's good. That was gonna be really good. I was so excited. So the Warriors blew a lead last night. Sadly, I can't remember how many points it was, but I
know I think 2 minutes left in the third, they were up by like 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I've decided I don't care which team wins. Yeah. I want to see everyone have fun. I want to see some good basketball.
Yeah, you should see some good basketball.
But yeah, heading into the series, I thought the Warriors were for sure had the upper hand, considering the Celtics took 7 games to beat the Heat, and I don't think the Heat are
as talented as the Warriors.
That great of a team, relatively speaking. But yeah, I mean, after last night, I don't know. It
through the first half, it looked like you were right. It looked like the Warriors were gonna like glide through this, you know.
Well, I mean, the first half, it was really, really close, and then third quarter they came out and Warriors just put them away. But then they said, no, not so fast. For the Warriors, the part that I would be incredibly worried about is the fact that basically the Warriors lost by 12 points.
Yeah.
And Jason Tatum played like trash.
Yeah.
Like he went 3 for 17.
Yeah. So what's going to happen when Jason Tatum has a game?
Heading into this series, I was like, all right, the Warriors are probably going to win this all unless Jason Tatum goes crazy.
Yeah. But
Jason
they won.
Tatum was not, he went like 3 for 17. Mm-hmm. And then the Celtics win by double digits. Like, you should be pretty frightened if you're the Warriors.
Yeah, but Al Horford was the one that was carrying the Celtics last night. He had 26 points, 6 rebounds, and went 6 from 3.
Yeah, Al and Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus Smart, yeah.
Yeah, and so...
which is good, because the whole thing they were talking about, like, leading up to this game was, like...
Brown. That's what I said. Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown. The whole thing leading up to this game was, like, the Warriors such a good, like, 3-point shooting team. And then it's like, well, the Celtics are one of, like, the best defenses we've ever seen at guarding the 3-pointer. So it's going to be a great matchup no matter what. Like, the Celtics feel like just a good all-around basketball team. Like how we've talked about in previous podcasts, the Warriors had to, like, overcompensate, right, on defense because Steph wasn't that good of a defender, right? He was more of a shooter. Feels like the Celtics are more, like, all-around balanced team like that.
Yeah, well, both these teams are really good defensive teams, but then also obviously have really good scorers. So it's I mean, once they figured out how to, like, Steph's shots, I think his first, like, 9 threes, like, he went, like, 7 for 9 or something like that. But then once they kind of switched up the way they were defending him, figured out some different stuff, and then, I mean, there's not that much you can do when your shots are not falling, their shots are falling, and that's just...
And it's... Do you think it's easier, like, as a team like the Celtics, where you're, like, more well-balanced, and then, like, compared, like, to a team like the Lakers, where, like, a lot of times in the Lakers season, it was, like, to win this game, like, LeBron's going to have to, like, put everything on his back. When the Celtics are more like, if the team plays good, we're going to win. Like, it's better having that overall balanced team than, like, that one guy. It's like, this guy needs to... If this guy doesn't have a good game, we're going to lose.
Potentially, but also if you think about, like... I mean, there's obviously examples of both ways, but 2016... Or is it 2015? 2016, I think, that when the Warriors and the Cavs played.
Yeah.
I mean, not to discount Kyrie, but, like, LeBron took them back from a 3-1 deficit and beat the Warriors when the Warriors were more balanced. Mm-hmm. But also, I mean, a lot of people criticize Steph for like not being not stepping up in the finals. Yeah. Which is why he has 3 rings and no finals MVPs, which is kind of wild.
Which is very wild, yeah. I mean, it's he's trying to, like they were all talking about, he's trying to like join that like 4 rings club, you know. So I'm excited for this series. This is one where I'm like, this will be a good one. Like I don't, that game was a shocker. It's always good for like the Celtics to steal one away, you know. It's always like, that's the big point of topic. Like if you can steal a game at the other person's home, like in the first 4 games. So I guess we'll see.
I mean, it'd be one thing if throughout the whole first half they're battling back and forth. Yeah. If at the end of the game one team wins by a couple points, then it's like, wow, that was like a tough loss, but it could have gone either way. But this was like if you're the Warriors, like that's the worst way to lose a game. Yeah. Is like you had a double-digit lead, you lost by double digits, and they weren't even playing at their full potential. I mean, obviously neither team was, but.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be great. You still have the Warriors coming out on top.
I don't know. I mean, it's. I don't know, man. I think it's going probably the distance, if not, then like 6 games. It's not gonna be a short series.
I think so too. I mean, I'm always, no matter who's in it, I'm always rooting for a game 7. You know, like a series to 7 in the finals is always gonna be a lot of fun. Now let's talk about something that Adam Silver said. He said he wants. His dream is for NBA teams to be positionless. How do you feel about that? Because I think there's a lot of controversy about like the All-Star games and stuff, right? Where it's like, or like the first team and the second team, like All NBA and stuff like that. Because people are like, how is this guy now? How's it going? I was like, well, we fill the point guard role, the shooting guard role. So now he's trying to say like, we just want to be positionless and just put your best guys on the court.
It's tricky because like point guard, it like very much is its own position. Center for the most part, but there's a lot of these where it's like, because that was frustrating when they were deciding the first team versus like NBA first team, NBA second team, whatever, and it was like, all right, this doesn't really like a lot of people's lists. I was like, okay, this doesn't make sense.
Yes, doesn't match up.
Like, oh well, it's because the reason Joel Embiid isn't in there is because I already had somebody at that position. Yeah. Or like, oh well, I can't have Joel Embiid and Djokovic or whatever, and it's weird because you can move guys around to different positions so easily in basketball. Yeah, and it feels like you were saying, the point guard and the center feel like the 2 like bookends, right? The 2 ones are always going to be you. Even if it's positionless, like going forward, you're still going to know who's playing the role of center and who's playing the role of point guard, even if that's not even what they're called anymore. Yeah, I mean, I think there's exceptions to that. Like LeBron is a weird one because it was different last year with Russell Westbrook. You have a point guard, but there's been years where LeBron has been at point, and then there's also been years where he's not playing point guard, but effectively he pretty much is the point guard because he's carrying the ball down the court every time. So I don't really know how you define it. Usually center, people just think like, all right, whoever the biggest guy on the court is the center. But then also if you got 2 big guys on the court, you're obviously moving guys around. But.
It was like so much nowadays. The NBA like lineups aren't like old fashioned set in stone. Like guys are moving around a lot. Guys are playing, like you said, LeBron's played point guard. The next game he's playing power forward. Right? It's very different, and he could be labeled as a power forward, but be playing the role of point guard, like you said.
If you've got a really high level guy that wants to come to your team during free agency, and you need a strong forward, but he's a power forward.
Yeah, you're
not gonna be like, oh well, we're not gonna take you.
Exactly.
Like no, you just take him and you kind of like work your
those guys can move up and down very easily. Yeah. What do you think they're gonna like if they get rid of those positions? Do you think they still call them point guard, shooting guard, or how do you think we label them now?
I don't think you could get rid of positions. I mean, I get the argument because. Yeah, to some extent it's like arbitrary, but also there's some things where it is kind of helpful to be like, I don't know, like there's always the discussion of like who the best point guards of all time are. Like what if point guard wasn't a position?
Yeah, what if point guard's just gone, man?
then you'd be like, who are the best people at the position where you primarily pass the ball and take the ball up the court? Magic was pretty good at that one.
The person who would most likely be to get a rebound. Who is the best?
There's also the question of like what's easier for like new fans to the game to understand.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people have said, that's why positions are a thing, or that's like why they have been a thing, is when you start watching basketball that way, once you understand like, all right, this is the role of a point guard, this is the role of a center, a power forward. It's easier to understand roles rather than having to look up like
they'd be like, what does this guy do? I'm like, they all do everything.
Yeah, like if you didn't know who Kobe Bryant was, then you would have to like really look into like, or what kind of play style is he, like what type of role does he fit, versus since there are positions you could just look up and be like, all right, he mainly plays shooting guard or whatever.
Exactly. So. I think there's multiple ways where it could be good, because like the NBA, like all team voting, stuff like that. But again, like for younger fans, like you said, probably easier, so they could be like, the point guard does this, he's going to be primarily control the ball, center's getting the rebounds, stuff like that.
But also, it could make it more confusing too, because then
you're like,
wait a minute, I thought he was a shooting guard, but why is he?
Yeah, wait, I thought you said LeBron played point. No, he's playing power forward right now. Oh, what?
Yeah, no, legit.
They're like, sometimes take everything you know about positions and go like this right now. Well, because I think like the NFL very like, you know what I'm saying, like, this is a left tackle, he has to play this position. They can't just be like offensive line. You know what I'm saying? That's interesting that. Yeah, like the NBA can move around more like that.
Yeah, it's the only sport that's really more fluid like that. I mean, I guess it probably like hockey and maybe soccer, but even those, like you have your set positions that you fall back to.
Defensive
backs,
like
if you're not technically a defensive back, but you always stay back and play defense, then you're a defensive back.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on divisions in the NBA? Because you've got your conferences and then there's also divisions. But what I've been thinking about is like, because in baseball, in football, most sports, the divisions are highly, they matter a lot.
Yeah.
Because it decides like who wins the division, gets into the playoffs. But the NBA
doesn't really matter.
Most people probably most people can't name who's in their team's division.
Exactly.
And half of basketball fans might not even know there are divisions.
Guess what? I'm half. I had no clue, so you know what that means? They don't need them.
Yeah, I mean it's a weird thing because when
I look up the standings, like if I'm just looking up like
you're looking at Western Conference.
Yeah, I'm looking at the West and Eastern standings. I don't hit standings and it shows me here's the things for the NFC West. You know what I'm saying? Like the NFL would.
Yeah, because the only impact that I can think of that it has is I'd imagine scheduling is you probably more play team, like the Lakers are in the Pacific Division.
Yeah.
Like with the Warriors, so technically they're supposed to be like divisional rivals, I guess. But like all that means is that they play every year and play more often than teams that are in different divisions.
I mean, I like the rivalries that divisions cause. You know, I like you're playing this guy how many times a year. You're gonna see them more. You're gonna be more in contact with the fans and stuff like that. I like the rivalries it causes, but NBA just feels like I didn't even know it was a thing. So I guess. To me, I don't think they need it.
It's a weird thing. Also, I wouldn't want them to, like, if they made divisions in the NBA like how they are in the NFL.
Yeah.
Where it's like the division champ goes on to the playoffs.
Yeah.
But also the divisions in the NBA have a lot more teams and there's a lot fewer of them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like this system of only having conferences. Like, how would you feel about if they did that? If they made the NFL more like the NBA, where it's like. If there was an AFC West and AFC North, Southeast, or whatever, but ultimately
it's just NFC, AFC.
It's the top, the ones that make it to the playoffs are the top 8 or however many.
I think the NFL does it well because it makes a thing where it's like these top teams might not make it because one of these guys in our division are gonna have to take their spot. So it's even more of a competition at the top. So it's like. When you're like, the AFC or let's just say like, if the NFC is so stacked, but somebody in the NFC like East is going to have to be in there instead of one of these guys that are going like, 13-3 or whatever it is. So I like it like that. I do like the rivalries it causes, but for me, like the NBA, I'd rather have it just like, like Eastern and Western Conference, like just be going on who's playing better.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm always more the fan of like for scheduling wise. I'm always more the fan of. Let's play as many different teams as possible. You know what I'm saying? So if that could spread that out and like we could see guys in like teams in like every sport, like NFL, it's hard because you don't have like 32 games, but like playing the most different guys possible so fans get that reach. Like, Like, if the Yankees came over here, it's like, oh, the Yankees are in LA, like that'd be so sick.
Yeah, well, and that's what the MLB is doing. Starting next year, they're changing their to like they're going to balance schedules, I think is what they're calling it, where it's like you play your divisional opponents less, so that you can play more teams. But
that's how you grow that feels like how you grow your league, and you get fans to learn who these other guys and these other teams are by bringing them to your team. So you're like, if I'm like a team that's on the West Coast, I'm never playing the East Coast guys. As a fan, I'm not going to know these guys. I'm not going to be excited for them when they make the Pro Bowl or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just because like that's how it is and we're used to it.
Yeah.
But in the NFL and the MLB, I really like that there are divisions and a division winner, and they go on to the playoffs. I wouldn't want it to be like the NBA. But in the NBA, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't
want
it to be like change.
That. For some reason, it just feels like it would be weird.
Yeah,
and maybe it's just because it's a different type of sport. But
and because now, like, especially nowadays, like it feels like you don't need to play your division rivals multiple times for them to be your rival. Like guys that you play once a year could end up being your rival just because that game is so heated. Like the teams are so good. Just say like I keep saying the NFC East because of the Giants and stuff, but like. The Giants and the Cowboys are rivals, right? Because they're in the same division, but they both haven't been that good in a while. So it's like a rivalry of just trash cans. I'd much rather watch
toilet bowl.
Yeah, I'd much rather watch like a team where it's like, oh, it's the Bills and the Chiefs, that rivalry. I'm like, you don't play them twice a year, but it's a great rivalry because they're so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you think I'm a better league commissioner than Mike Trout is being called out for right now?
Because did Joc Pederson said that.
He said that he is a coward or something.
Yeah, this is bro. The whole Joc Pederson fantasy football beef
it's
is
so
the
funny.
Funniest thing ever.
It's so funny. And the NFL guy that they're fighting over said that I love that they have him on my team and they're fighting for me.
They said specifically that there was
there was one guy
fighting for.
Because there's something where it involved Joc Pederson stashing somebody on his bench.
Yeah, well, because what it was is. That if you guys haven't heard, it's like the funniest thing.
Yeah, I love it.
To happen in sports in a while, I think, is that when is that pregame, Joc Pederson and Tommy Pham they were playing each other, and during batting practice, Tommy Pham and Joc Pederson like got into it, and he smacked Joc in the face. He got suspended for it, and when they asked what it was about, Joc Pederson said it was a disagreement about like in their fantasy football league that he was calling Joc out for. Yeah. It had to do with like
stashing
guys that are on the IR.
Yeah.
Like if they're listed as injured, you could stash them on your injured reserve and have another roster spot. And he's like calling Joc out for that, and so he smacked him.
It's so funny because then then it came out like it kept getting deeper and deeper. Mike Trout is their commissioner, and then like did you see the GIF that apparently Joc Pederson sent the Padres?
Because at the time, Pham was on the Padres, and Joc sent the thing it had like the three people.
It's like were they
three people throwing up.
Oh yeah,
throwing a like. It's like that strongman stuff where they throw weights into the air. And it's the Giants, Dodgers, and the Padres, and the Padres one that like landed on his head because they, unlike the Dodgers and Giants, did not finish the season. They choked up at the end.
I just love it, man. I love when I see like when we get a little inside scoop of like players just like normal lives.
No,
together.
them just like sending gifs, smack talking each other's real life teams that they play.
Yeah, no, it's just hilarious.
when he said that he responded to Joc and was like, Joc, you don't know me like that, or like I don't know you like that. You can't be making jokes like that.
And do you think like if they had a MLB like fantasy, right? Do you think it's illegal to have your own guy? Do you think that's called insider trading?
What do you mean?
Like if do you think it'd be illegal for Mike Trout to have Mike Trout on his team?
You mean if okay, you mean if MLB players had an MLB?
Yeah, exactly. Do you think it's illegal? Like insider trading?
I can't imagine that it would be a good idea for baseball players to have fantasy baseball to play
because
fantasy
if
baseball.
Me and you were in the championship and you had me and like you needed like another hit, I'd eat one for the team. I'm just going. I'm not making contact that night.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Some people were like responding to it, and the comments were like, they're players. They shouldn't even be involved in fantasy sports. It is a completely different sport.
Yeah, it's a completely different sport.
I don't think them playing fantasy football impacts the integrity of their baseball game.
Mike Trout, I get it, man. It's rough out here being a commissioner. You got dudes texting you. The worst is when I get a text at 3 a.m. that says accept this trade when it goes through. I'm like, dear Lord, what am I to see?
No, if they send that before the text, if it's not, hey, we just accepted a trade, could you send it through? If it's, we're about to send a blockbuster.
Yeah.
Be ready. Stand by.
Yeah, I got one sent to me that was so bad, and I declined, I canceled it, and then the guy texted me and said, coward. That was my family one, too. That was like my Uncle Scott texting me coward. He was trying to finesse Swaggy out or something.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys. Check out our TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube.
Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button, or else we'll know if you don't. Hit like and subscribe if you want to see us both with buzz cuts next week.
I promise you'll get a buzz cut.
If we get at least 10 likes, I'll get if one person likes this video, I'll get a buzz cut.
You're gonna like it. Oh.
Oopsies, you caught me.
Oopsie. That was clean.